Hi, I am Angie and welcome to my channel. I was hoping to get into this whole YouTube world a little bit more gracefully than what I'm going to. I am a believer slash knower of Sasquatch. I have had many, let's just say, interactions, incidents, things happen through the years that have made me a believer slash knower. A incident that happened about 2 years ago in Maine really put me on this path to, I guess, looking into it more. You know, I've always known about it my whole life. I've always believed it. I'll go into more of that later. But I really want to talk about why I'm just kind of jumping headfirst into it instead of easing in like I wanted to. Like I said, I was telling you a little bit about my story. Always believed in Sasquatch. Had an incident happen 2 years ago up in Maine that really got me watching a lot of documentaries. I was terrified with that incident and I wanted to learn more. So for the last 2 years, I have just been really watching documentary after documentary after documentary on Sasquatch on YouTube. You know, like everybody else, I've watched the Finding Bigfoot series. I watched Expedition Bigfoot series. Just a lot of things. Like I said, plus all the independent ones on YouTube. So long story short, I decided to throw my hat in the ring to go out and start looking. I prefer the term investigator slash looker. Let's get to why I'm just jumping in head first. I was at a place here yesterday. I live in Arkansas and I was at a location just scouting a place where I might be able to, you know, look for stuff on a regular basis. I will put the video in after this little excerpt, and then afterwards I'll come back and talk about what you saw on the video and give a more up-to-date account after I had a chance to reflect and look back in my mind's eye about what went down. Long story short, I got to this location, I was looking around, I was seeing small little stuff that had me thinking, you know, it looks like some activity could be going on here, or it could be human, like I said. So I was just walking around looking. I decided to walk down to the river that was there to see if I could find any footprints or any other, you know, anything, tree breaks, you know, anything at all. And that's where the incident happened. So like I said, I will show the video and then I'll come in at the end and let you know, the rest of the story, so to speak, and kind of fill in gaps and maybe try to answer some of the questions like, well, why didn't you do that? Or why didn't you do that? You know, which is easy to do or easy to say when you're not in the heat of the moment and you're not thinking straight. So once again, welcome and hope you enjoyed the video. Be kind. I am all new to this, you know, so my camera angles may not be great. My uhs, you know, while I'm talking may not be the best, you know, sorry about that, but it's real, it's raw, it's exactly what happened, and hope you enjoy it, and let's talk in a minute. Okay, I don't know what I just stumbled upon. Luckily, there's nothing in there. I'll explain what you're looking at. So, I'm here by the river, and there is a little clearing here that something has, hold on, I'm shaking. Not because I'm scared, just because I got too many things in my hands. All right, there is like a little, okay, I think I need to go. Just as an FYI, there are bones there. And a huge, I mean huge, something just came flying and landed into the water down there. I mean, huge. I mean, it's very ironic that I find something that looks like a cave or a den with bones in it. All of a sudden something huge goes flying into the water. Problem is, I gotta go that way to get back to my car, or where I came from. Mercy sakes, what just got thrown in there? I mean, if you could have seen the splash, it was huge. I think something that's just trying to scare me out of its area. It's doing a heck of a good job. But now, my thought is, how do I get out? I mean, because that's just really freaky timing that something just happens to fall out of the tree when I'm down here. I mean, yeah, it's the wild, anything can happen, but that didn't seem, oh, the coincidence there. Alrighty, I'm gonna keep this running. All right, I'm gonna keep this running. So I only have one choice, to go back the way I came. And that's where the thing just landed in the water. I mean, there's a way up that way, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going. I won't stay. I'm sorry if I got too close. You're gonna have to get out of the way so I can leave. I have to go this way. Y'all, I swear, it was that branch right there that came down. I don't know if it fell off the tree or if it was thrown. I really don't. Like I said, right when I was getting very close to that cover with the bones and stuff, that's when that happened. Like I said, and it came from that tree area right next to where I have to walk up to get out. Okay, I'm coming up. At this point, I don't even care where the camera is pointing. I just want it on. Okay, I'm coming up. I'm leaving. But I have to come this way. There's no other way for me to get out. So I'm coming this way. And I guess if something did throw that, maybe I might find a footprint. But that was creepy, y'all. I ain't lying. That got me spooked. Okay, I'm leaving. Ouch. I gotta come up this way. Sorry if I got too close. I didn't mean to. All right, now I'm officially winded. Oh, mercy sakes. I'm just gonna keep this running. Just in case, once again, something strange like that happens. I really wish I had that camera rolling in that direction when that happened. Holy crap, that was crazy. All right, well, I've walked around this area enough to know that I would like to come back here to investigate. Also, it'd be nice to have somebody with me. It is very scary to be out here all by yourself. Okay, so let's talk about what you saw. Like I said, not a videographer, but let's just talk about it. So in the beginning of the video, it starts with me looking at a bunch of what looks like grass in the video. I had already walked down the embankment. It was pretty steep, but it did kind of zigzag a bit to kind of, make it a little bit easier. I do have knee problems, and so I'm not the most agile. I do have some mobility issues, and so for me, that was the best way down to the river. And the reason why I say that is because I wasn't filming as I was walking down to the river, and that is why I was paying attention to my footing. There was times I had to put my camera down. I say camera, my cell phone that was on a selfie stick. I had to put it down on the ground and use my hands to actually, maneuver down the embankment. So that's why I wasn't filming on the way down. When I got down there to the riverbank, I got busy looking, wasn't even thinking about recording. I got to the spot where the video starts. And that's why I started recording again, is because I actually saw something. And what I saw, you can't make out real well in the video, but in real life, in person, it was just a jaw-dropping, what I'm gonna call a den, that was made from, I think it was bamboo on the river banks there. I'm not the world's best when it comes to plants and that type of thing. I'm thinking it was bamboo. Somebody might be able to tell what it actually was. It could have been bamboo, I don't know. Or it could have been some sort of tall grass that grows on the riverbank. Like I said, don't know grasses and plants all that well, but it was supposed to be straight up. If you look at other types of that stuff, what I'm calling bamboo, it was all straight up. This, however, was made into a den. It looked as if it was manipulated, like it was woven or, put together, because it wasn't springing up in places. It was a den. There was pieces that were not woven into it. And that's why in the video, it's hard to see it, because whatever created this thing left some up to kind of, oh gosh, I can't even think right now, to kind of disguise it, just so it's like, bam, it wasn't just a giant hole, it kind of looked like it blended in, but it definitely was a giant den. I say giant den, it was a big den that something could fit in. It was not natural. It was definitely created by something. Now, I did not see it with my own eyes being created, so I cannot say without 100% certainty. I'll let you decide that. I can do conjecture, but let me just say, let me just say this. The animals that we have in our area, a bear could live in that, or sleep in it, or, take shelter in it, whatever, but it can't create that. But that den that was woven together cannot be created or made by a bear. So we can cross that off the list. Raccoons, can't do that. Bobcat, can't do that. Possum can't do that. River otters can't do that. Deer can't do that. Coyotes can't do that. I would say you're pretty hard pressed to find any animal that will take tall standing bamboo, style grass stuff and bend it over and weave it in a way where it's now a den. I think that's more of a trait, a thing that needs hands. It needs to be intelligent. I'll just leave it at that. So in the video, when the video starts, I am trying to show it. I had stuff in my hands, from walking down the hillside. And so I'm trying to maneuver the stuff, and you'll even hear me say, I gotta I said something along the lines as I'm shaking. It's not because I'm scared, because I have too much in my hands. And that was true. That's what I was doing. I was trying to maneuver my cell phone that I had on my selfie stick with other stuff I had in my hands so I could get a better picture without shaking, trying to juggle all of it. And just when I panned on that, and here comes the goodness. Y'all ready? As I was talking and trying to show it, I literally, you can see for yourself, the camera just turned on. I had only been on less than a minute, I think. I hear behind me, and dadgummit, this always happens to people. People always say, well, why didn't you catch that? It was behind me. I was filming the other direction. From now on, I'm going to try to get something on my back to film from my back, but that's a side note. So as I'm filming this den and trying to show you guys what I'm seeing, I hear crashing behind me, but up high. And you'll see me do this because I'm hearing it. So I turn to look, and that's when I see a branch. The branch I will circle in the video. You can see it in the video. And I kind of allude to it, and I kind of zoom in a little bit on it, saying that I think that's the branch. It was the branch. It was flying through the air, and I saw it arc and then crash down into the water. Now, you can see in the video, there's a big tree that kind of is overlooking the water, and like kind of right below it-ish is a giant branch. And in the video, you hear me say, I don't know if it fell from that. Did it fall from that? I'm not sure. I don't know where it came from. But like I said, after sitting down and, getting my thoughts with me after it, I was like, it couldn't have fallen from that tree because it just would have, crack, crack, fall. I wouldn't have heard crack, 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 arch, down, splash. It was thrown. It was thrown. And I know that because I saw the arching as on its way down. If it was, like I said, from the tree that's there on the shore that you can see, it looks like it might have been from that, but it wasn't. Because like I said, if it was from that tree, it just would have, crack, 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 as the branch is breaking and just fell. But like I said, when I turned, I saw it arching in the air and hitting the ground. And it was not the ground, but the water. And a huge splash. Huge. Because it was a huge branch. You can't tell from the video so much, but I would guess that branch is at least 6 feet long. And then it had a bunch of other smaller little, just wispy branches coming off of it, kind of gnarly. But that branch was long. And so when that branch hit that water from that height, it made a ginormous splash. And that's why I was like, I got to get out of here. Because I was about to poop my pants. Now, this is where watching the documentaries has really helped me. From the experiences that I've had, and from other types of shows, they make you want to fear Sasquatch. And so I've always been fearful of it. I've always thought, it was like some man-eating beast that the second you go out into the woods, especially if you're a woman and alone, you're going to be snatched, never seen again. Who knows what happens to you? If you're eaten, if you're held captive, I don't know, killed, who knows? So I was always fearful of Sasquatch. because, everybody up until that point that I was listening to was saying, it's a giant ape, it's a wild animal, danger, 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 be careful, be careful. I was up in Washington last month. This is November of 2024. So I was up in Washington, the state of Washington, October 4th all the way through November 8th. I spent that whole month and a half or so up there. When I was up there, I attended a Bigfoot conference in Yakima, Washington. Fantastic. Loved it. Got to meet some very nice people, listened to all the presenters, and they kind of alluded to not being afraid of it. Now, I'm not going to tell you to be afraid or not be afraid. I think whatever it is, I have my opinion of what Sasquatch is. I will let you make your opinion of it. However, don't let anybody tell you to be afraid or not be afraid, because nobody is an expert. So nobody truly knows what they will do. Now, we do have lots of records and lots of people's testimonies of encountering Sasquatch or what they feel is Sasquatch, and it making a terrible scene, whether it's screaming or yelling, throwing things at you, rocks, branches, whatever, growling at you. And people take that as my life's in danger, which I 100% understand. I was there, and I'm still a little bit there because, like I said, nobody truly knows what they're going to do. I'm sure there's probably nice ones, just like there's nice humans. I'm sure there's grumpy ones, like there's grumpy humans. I'm sure there are downright violent ones because we have downright violent humans as well. And we as humans act like we do in a civilized society. These things out in the woods, they're not living in a civilized society. We call it the wild for a reason. So we don't know what they are truly capable of on any day, just like we don't know what we're capable of any day. So I would just say, trust your gut and be smart. So when that big old crashing branch happened, I knew exactly I had come upon something they didn't want me near. Makes sense. Something has been curled up in there. I say curled up, to sit in there. It would have been a tight little, fit, but something's been sitting in there eating something. Now, in the video, I was saying there's bones. There are bones. Now in the video, you could see the skull, and I quickly, before I retreat, pan to what I believe is a pelvis. And like I said, and then I got out of there. But before I move on, let me say, as I was reviewing the footage when I got home, I did a screenshot so I could kind of look around the area to see if I missed anything in my haste. Because literally, I had just found it when I turned the camera on. I hadn't looked at it at all before I turned the camera on. So the look that you got in the video is what I got. When I walked down that riverbed and I looked up, because, obviously I'm looking for prints, I'm looking down. And when I looked up and it was right in front of me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a den and there's bones. And so I picked up my phone, hit record, and that's when I started recording. So you guys saw the same thing I did at practically the same time. I didn't have a chance to investigate it. I started to lean in with my phone, on my selfie stick to start looking around. And that's when all the crashing happened and the tree branch got thrown. So I 100% believe that was them warning me, you're too close, get away. And I heeded that warning. I could have been like, that was just a coincidence. a branch fell off a tree just by happened to be standing here. You're more than welcome to think that and continue on with what you're doing. But just be smart, be prepared. Something could happen after that. If you're willing, to make that risk and that consequence, all the power to you. I was not. I was like, all right, I'll take your warning. And that's when I beelined it out of there. And like I was saying, I had to go back up the hill to get back, to where I came in from, literally right next to that tree you see in the picture, in my video. So I was standing there on the bank, and as you saw, thinking, crap, pardon my French, how am I going to get back there? I really don't want to go that way because whatever threw that branch is over there. But because of my mobility issues, there's no other way for me to get from the riverbank back up to the top. Now you see me in the video stop and say, there's a way here, but it was extremely steep. I would have had to put my cell phone and my selfie stick in my backpack, which is fine. And literally I would have had to crawl on my hands and knees up that bluff to get out of there, which I can't crawl on my knee either because it's too much pain. So I knew that wasn't going to be an option for me. So in the moment I was evaluating quickly, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm like, my only option is to walk up that path I just came down, even though it is right next to where that branch was thrown. And so that's why I started talking out loud. I'm leaving. You're going to have to get out of the way, hoping, they understand. Now, if I was being watched, as I believe I was, because otherwise, how would they have known where I was, at that little den site? If they were watching me, as I feel they were, they knew I came down that way. So obviously they already know more than likely I'm going to have to go back up that way. So that's why I wasn't 100% scared of walking back up that way, because I believe they already knew I was going to have to go up that way. And in that moment, I also felt if they wanted to have hurt me for being too close to that den, they would have done something more. They would have thrown the tree branch at me versus in the water, a ways from me. They did just enough to scare me, just to get me out of the area. But so I felt, okay, I don't think they're going to hurt me because they would have already done so. So I walked back up that trail. Now, y'all, I walked up that trail much quicker and much better than I did going down it, which is amazing if you know my knee issues. But, thank God for adrenaline and got me up out of there. And I was huffing and puffing, I ain't no skinny thing. I'm a little bit of a fluffy girl. And, I was huffing and puffing when I got to the top. And I just could not believe what went down. I had heard stories of people having things thrown at them before. And I believe a long time ago, like back in the early 90s, I might have had some rocks thrown at me from another incident that I will talk about later. But, I'm 51 now. I'm not, 14, 15 when that happened. So it's been a very long time. And never a 6-foot branch, through the treetops. Whoo! Talk about adrenaline running. It was fantastical. It was unbelievable. It was surreal. And it was, scary. But like I said, because I've been educating myself and watching videos and talking to people, I'm trying really to, when something happens, not just instantly run scared. I think education and knowledge helps you in this. So like I said, when it happened, I was like, okay, Angie, if they wanted to hurt you, they would have. They're just trying to scare you out of this area. You've crossed the boundary. You've gone too far. On accident. I didn't mean to. I just literally stumbled upon it. But be that as it may, don't freak out. Just leave the area and you should be fine. I get to the top and I turned off the video. I get back to the car and I had moseyed around up there a little bit afterwards. Nothing else happened. It was totally quiet. So they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. They got me away from their den. Now, mind you, I started to allude to it, but I got sidetracked, which happens to me all the time. So like I said earlier, when I got home, I was watching the footage and I stopped at the den and I kind of zoomed up on my phone to kind of look to see if I had missed anything. I did. There are more bones there. Not only is there a skeleton head, which I believe is it's a deer, but there's also a pelvis. And y'all, what you didn't see in the video, which I didn't see in real life, like I said, because I didn't have much time to even look at it, this, as I just explained, sitting here, when I zoomed in, I saw the deer leg. There is a deer leg in it. So we got the skull, the pelvis, a deer's leg, and in the back, it looks like there might be another bone, but I can't see it, and I can't be 100% positive. It could be a piece of natural grass or something. It looks like a bone, but I can't be sure. But for sure, you can see 3 bones in there. You can see the head. You can see, like I said, by now it's all bone. It's just the skull, the pelvis, and the deer leg. Now, the deer leg, at the bottom end of it, you can still see the flesh and the hoof on it. I will also post that in this video I'm going to make as well, to post up here on YouTube. It was crazy. It was crazy. I have never had anything like that ever. I've heard stories and it happened to me and I didn't get it on film because it happened behind me. And this is part of the reason why people are like, well, why didn't you catch that on video? I didn't know what was going to happen behind me. Had no idea. Had no idea what I was about to find. Like I said, what do you do when stuff happens behind you? Like I said, I'm going to try to start wearing some sort of something on my back to record things on the backside, but I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. But I have ideas. I just don't know how practical they will be. I'll try them out and see what works. But things happen and you're not always prepared for it, which is frustrating. Hopefully next time I will get it. But that seems to be the problem that plagues everybody who's trying to find Sasquatch, is to get a good image of it. It just always seems to happen that you see it when you least expect it. It makes a vocalization when you least expect it. Oops, I almost knocked over my camera. You're not recording. It always seems something is happening why you don't get the footage. And so I'm going to keep going out. I'm going to keep tromping through them woods and hopefully get some more success and maybe get some good stuff on film. We'll see what happens. You never know. Thanks so much for watching my video. Stay with me. I'm new at this. I'm sure I'll make mistakes, but we have to learn somehow. So I'm just putting myself out there to do it. So please like my channel, follow my channel, subscribe, do all those things you know to do. And until next time, bye.